Frugal is not just a word, it's a lifestyle, and frugality begets riches. Like Britt Ekland, a Swedish actress, said, "Think of your pension and start saving." Like my father, I have been a spendthrift, and I regret that. Number 10. Wanting to look rich. But what does looking rich look like? Well, driving a nice, metallic, emerald-colored Porsche while resting your hand on the car window so that everybody can see your $5,000 Rolex, and grinning from ear to ear to expose your full mouth, gold-plated grills, but have $0 in your bank account, is trying to look rich. Being rich is having more dollars in your bank than you know what to do with while living Warren Buffett style. While the investment guru has upgraded to a better phone, he had a $20 flip phone for so long, his friends forced him to buy an iPhone, which he admits to using for just calls and text messages. Let's look at the prices for the look rich items we mentioned above. The Rolex is $5,000. A single-tooth grill is $225. If you take away the 8 molars that every adult has, you still have 24 teeth remaining, which totals $5,400. The Porsche costs you a cool $100,000, not to mention the clothes and other accessories you have on you. That's $110,400. But here's the catch. You're covered up to your neck in debt. You have no investments that are bringing you any returns, and you don't even have an emergency fund. But you have your $100,000 Porsche, which is an asset, right? Wrong. Cars, unlike real estate, depreciate in quality and cost the minute you start counting mileage. And no one is interested in buying used grills from you. Trying to look rich is a financial catastrophe because you have no money to help you get rich if you keep using it like there's no tomorrow. Also, nobody would ever help you if you ever needed cash because of your rich persona, and they would think you were just playing with them. Instead of going into debt for a $100,000 car, buy a used $15,000 car and save the rest. You'd be $85,000 richer, or you can keep looking rich and have nothing to show for it when a real need arises. Number 9. Not setting goals. Setting goals helps you achieve something faster without being overwhelmed and stressed, and the results can be phenomenal. It also gives you clarity on the things you want to achieve and gives you a solid chance to make it happen. But if you're not setting goals, you can't have the commitment, discipline, or motivation to get to the next level of your financial freedom. For example, if you set a goal of saving $20,000 in a year on a salary of $2,500 a month, you'd have to save $1,667 per month to meet that goal. And unless you can survive on $833 per month, you know you have to do something about it. You either give up on that goal or find ways to make it happen. One of the ways you can meet your goal is by having a second income. It would make it so much easier for you to achieve your goal if you're committed to it, and in no time, you'd be boasting of thousands of dollars saved or invested in high-yield markets. Not setting your goals brings about procrastination, which kills your drive because you don't have something to save towards. But if you want to be rich and have some money saved up, you have to make that decision. It sounds like a steep climb, but if you put your mind to it, the only person that can limit you is yourself. Number 8. Not saving and investing. Given a 10% chance of a 100 times payoff, you should take that bet every time. That's what Jeff Bezos said. Allowing your money to earn more money for you is the best investment you can ever make. And not taking risks is a bad financial decision. If you want to be rich, this culture of spending all your money has to come to a halt, or you'll remain in the same old place while your friends are building empires. Saving begins with the first step. A few dollars here and a few dollars there, and voila! You've started a savings culture. Investing is also a way of saving that earns you more interest than traditional saving methods. For example, if you risk $1,000 at the 10% chance that you can get back $10,000, isn't that a risk worth taking? But it can also fail, and that's why it's called a risk. But you have to be prepared for that. Banks give an interest of 0.03% APY on checking accounts and 0.06% APY on savings accounts. This means that if you have $1,000 in your checking account, you get a meager 3 cents in interest. In high-yield accounts, your interest may be up to 5 times more. The more money you save, the higher your interest, and the richer you get. Make saving and investing a habit, and your finances will soar at an unbelievable speed. Number 7. Paying for more room than you need. It sure feels good to have a huge house all by yourself, until the echo reminds you of just how lonely you are. But we're here to tell you about the financial part of your gigantic house. You're wasting your money. Period. Having more rooms than you're using costs money because you're not utilizing the space. You may not be rich overnight by downsizing your living space, but you'll save a great deal of cash. For example, a 3-bedroom house costs an average of $3,500 a month, while 1-bedroom houses rent at an average of $1,000. Living in a bigger house is wasting living space and your money because you're paying for rooms you're not using. Imagine if you could save $2,500 a month. In 10 years, you'd be rich enough to buy your own house. Are light bulbs bursting in your head yet? Well, hear this. You can downsize even further to save an extra $400, but it means that you'd have to live in a tiny house, whose dimensions are 225 to 600 square feet. If you're claustrophobic, you'd have to make an effort to beat it or stay broke. Number 6. Eating out regularly. A survey done in 2019 showed that 6% of Americans ate out daily, 10% ate out 4 to 6 times a week, and 56% ate out 2 to 3 times a week. That means an average household that eats out 4 to 6 times a week spends a lot of money. Eating out costs you a lot of money and depletes your account. For example, if you spend $50 a day for 4 days a week to eat out, that would be $200. In a month, you'd spend $800 on your food only. Imagine that you're a family of 4. It would cost you well into thousands of dollars for restaurant food, not putting into account the 3 days you eat at home. Eating out can eat into your money pretty good and leave you broke and in debt. You may not be rich overnight when you decide to eat more meals at home, but you'd be eating healthy food, which reduces your chances of getting lifestyle diseases, which also reduces your trips to the hospital, hence spending less money. Meals cooked at home are cheaper, especially if you buy them in bulk. You save a penny here and a dime there. Add them up, and they'll give you whole dollars. Being diligent with that routine will get you rich. Number 5. Buying designer items. We all love to have some Nike, Balenciaga, Fendi, Calvin Klein, Playboy, and all those big-name fashion items. But the difference in price with local stores can run into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As we mentioned earlier, trying to look rich is the wrong approach to actual riches. We know what you're thinking. Fake it till you make it, right? But how about you don't fake it at all? Sounds good, right? Well, it can happen when you stop putting your trust so much in the brand name and look at the quality. Some of these big names aren't so big on quality. Just find good quality, decently priced items and save your big bucks. The same thing is true for food stuff. You find that a name brand is selling its product at double the price of a regular brand. The ingredients, preparation, and everything else are the same, but because this one has been slapped with a big named label, it becomes of superior quality. We say that's a load of hogwash. You save hundreds of dollars every time you go shopping if you can place your trust and money in regular brands. An ancient Chinese philosopher, Confucius, said, "He who will not economize will have to agonize." Which one do you want to do? Economize or agonize? Number 4. Engaging in unhealthy habits. We all have a few guilty pleasures, don't we? Some love good old-fashioned chocolates. Others love a bowl of blueberry ice cream. And others love some sour candy. While those are things you can do without, other habits can cost you more than just a tooth cavity. They cost you thousands of dollars and steal your good health too. Those are habits such as gambling, excessive consumption of alcohol, and use of substances. For example, gambling can get very addictive. The house makes you think you're winning when you stake $100 and get $1,000. So you stake that win and add another $1,000 from your pocket for a chance to win $20,000, only for your winnings plus your extra $1,000 to go down the drain. You lose $2,100 total and still bet more to chase that elusive high. By the end of the night, you go home broke, dejected, and a sore loser. Not learning your lesson will take you back to the gambling den to lose more money. Instead of betting your $2,000 on a slim to none chance of winning, why not put it in a high-yield account and earn 5% guaranteed interest? You'd speed up the growth of your account, which pushes you closer to your financial independence. Unhealthy habits such as gambling can keep you poor for the rest of your life. Haven't you heard Terry Murphy's quote, "A gambler never makes the same mistake twice. It's usually 3 or more times." Number 3. Impulse buying. We know how exhilarating having something new is. You can't wait to show it off to your friends and family. And while there's nothing wrong with wanting to buy new things now and then, spending money on them that you hadn't planned to spend is what makes it wrong. This is because you'd probably have to go onto debt to afford them. For example, the price of a PS5 on Amazon is $550, and your friends won't shut up about it, so you decide, why not? But you have no money to make the purchase, so you use your credit card to buy the PS5. Sure, you'll be on cloud 9 when competing with them, but the high will soon come down and you're left with a $550 debt, plus the interest you pay at the end of every month. If you fail to make your payments on time, you're charged more interest, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Let us ask you this: when have you ever heard someone who's buried up to their neck in debt become rich? Back to you in the studio. Number 2, using your credit card. That rectangular piece of plastic can become your best friend, but more often than not, it becomes your worst enemy because it will never give you any rest from debt. Every time you swipe your credit card, you say bye-bye to financial freedom. Did you know that according to Go Banking Rates, 6% of Americans have $10,000 and above in credit card debt? 15% have $5,001 to $10,000, while more than 30% have between $1,000 and $5,000. That's right, to build your finances to the point of not lacking, you need to have zero debt, and this requires you to quit using your credit card. Making all the transactions using your credit card costs you fees, not forgetting that you pay interest, which can shoot up if you're not disciplined in your repayments. But if you want financial freedom, cut your credit cards up. Problem solved. Before we get into number 1, make sure to check out the links in the description for our best recommendations to boost your savings. Number 1, playing the lottery. Have you ever had high hopes of achieving something only for them to be dashed? That's what happens when you play the lottery. The only difference is playing the lottery dashes all your hopes and takes all your money. Many low-income households play the lottery in the hopes of getting rich quickly, but that is the wrong approach to acquiring wealth. You have to work and invest. There are no two ways about it. The lottery is a scheme that's used to promise you financial paradise, only to make you poorer every day. You have more chances of being struck by lightning than winning the lottery. If you want to be rich, invest your money in markets that earn you good profits. As Naved Abdali said, investments are not a lottery. If it feels like the lottery, stay away from it.